Good morning. How are you diddling? Excellent. Me too. Thank you very much for asking. Welcome to another episode, another daily video of Dazed and Confused, which is generally how we're all feeling at the moment during this craziness. It's a little bit odd at the moment. And yeah, we still don't know when it's all going to end, do we really? So what I decided a few weeks back now, it must be 6 weeks, 7 weeks ago, I think I've been doing these for. I decided that I wanted to try and help as many people get onto that content creation journey, because when we do come out the other side of this, there's going to be a lot of brands, a lot of businesses who are going to be struggling because of the situation and where they've been put during the situation because they can't trade and all that kind of thing. But what you can do, even if you can't trade or sell right now, you can still keep building your brand. You can still keep letting people know what it is that you do as a business, so that when we come out of this situation, you're stronger than ever with your brand online. And when you come to the point where you're actually able to ask people to buy what it is that you do, they've got so much value from you, they're more than likely going to jump in and make sure that they buy whatever it is that you've got to offer. So hopefully that's what these videos are doing. My name's Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios, the award-winning visual marketing agency. We're based in the UK, and we help brands and businesses create content for their social media channels that really helps them stand out. It's completely bespoke. Could be video, could be animation, aerial work, photography work, graphic work, documentaries, short form video, all sorts of different types of thing. And we help them from the creative process all the way through to the pure production, and to help take the time off their hands so that they don't have to do it. We can even help them with the distribution of that content as well across their social media. So we try and make life a little bit easier for our clients. However, a few years ago, it became quite obvious to me that not necessarily every business has the budget available to them to necessarily have that kind of content created on a regular basis, because it's not cheap to get it done. I'm not saying it's mega expensive, but having it done on a regular basis could become quite costly. So smaller brands and smaller businesses kind of erred away from doing anything on social media because they couldn't create the content. So I wanted to help smaller businesses with less of a budget understand what they could do themselves for free. Would take a little bit of time, would take some effort, but it's stuff you can do that won't cost you a single penny to do it across social media. So I came up with the How to 9 Times Your Social Media process, which is a simple process that I take people through, and it helps them create content from one type all the way through to another type and everything in between. And they end up with like 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces of content every single week they can post across their social media channels. And all that content is on one subject matter, rather than a scattergun approach and a bit of messaging here and a bit of messaging there and something different here and something different there, confusing your audience. It's all on point, it's all on brand, and they understand exactly what they're going to be talking about week on week on week. So that's what I try to do. That's what these videos are for as well, to try and give you little hints and tips that I give them as clients, but in dribs and drabs and just more on a generic basis. So today we're going to be talking about YouTube, but most specifically the description that you write for your videos. Now, in the past, we had Alan Spicer come in and join us on one of our live videos. I'm hopefully going to get him back in again as well. So if you do have any other YouTube questions or more questions about descriptions, get them into me, because we're going to compile them all together and hopefully get Alan in on another live very, very soon. But I wanted to try and cover this one today because I've been asked a few times about people by what they should put into their YouTube description. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Don't forget, wherever you're watching live today, whether it be on Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram Live, please do just drop a message into the comments and let me know that you're there. Let me know that you're watching. And if you've got any questions at all about social media, about video, I will do my best to answer them in today's live session, unless they come through a little bit late, or maybe you're watching on the replay, or maybe you're listening to the podcast right now, that this is going to turn into a little bit later on today, in which case, drop your questions into the comments and we'll answer your questions in a future live video, potentially tomorrow's. Okay? Brilliant. So let's get started. We're going to talk about YouTube descriptions. Bit of an interesting one, this one, because a lot of people, when you look at their video content, when they put it out, it doesn't really say a lot in their video description. And because of this, YouTube kind of punish you. They don't drop you down people's feed, but they don't push you out to as many people who could potentially see you, because that YouTube description is another element of your SEO. Now, we talked about this the other day. Social media doesn't help your SEO. However, YouTube, in a roundabout way, pretty much does, because YouTube is owned by Google. Obviously, Google's the biggest search engine on the planet. YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet. And so what Google want you to be doing is using that platform to help yourself find content where you want answers to certain things, whether it's how to change a light bulb or a Peugeot 106, all that kind of stuff. But also, because it's connected to Google, they allow the content that you write into your description box, into your meta tags, to help your website SEO, but only if you make it do it. So we're going to talk through a few different things that you should be doing within your description box on your YouTube videos. So hopefully this will help you when you're writing your descriptions. Number one, you really want to get very descriptive. So whatever title you've given your video, make sure that title is, number one, within the first 2 or 3 lines of the description, because that way not only will YouTube see and Google will see that that piece of content is actually definitely what the title is saying. So they'll go, right, okay, the title is how to grow your YouTube channel. And then the 3 lines are, I'm often asked when I'm doing my live videos, how I grow my YouTube channel. Well, here's some of the tips I would give. And it will see that and connect the two and go, right, okay, this is less likely to be clickbait than anything else. So we'll push this a little bit further. But not only that, the people who are searching for how to grow their YouTube channel will also see that as well and know that it's less likely to be clickbait, because there's a lot of clickbait out there. A lot of people will put a title just in the hope that it will draw you into the content, and then there's nothing to do with the title or the description within the actual content. And that just pisses people off. So don't clickbait, but make sure that your title is within the first 3 lines of a description, because when people search content on a computer, not necessarily on the phone, but on a computer, it will only show the first 3 lines of the description and it won't show any more than that. So make sure that's in there. Make sure you get really descriptive as well. When I was chatting to Alan about this previously, on the last live that we did, he was saying try and write 2, maybe 3 paragraphs about what the video is about. Try and give as much of the information as you possibly can do that you're talking about in the video. So, for example, if I cover off 3 specific points in this video, then I would put all 3 of those points into the description. That's not going to stop people from watching the video, because they're going to have to click to see those points in the first place. So just remember, people do read the descriptions. So some people will want to maybe back up what it is that you're saying with a written descriptive format. So if you're talking about how to grow your YouTube channel, then why not put those tips, or a number of those tips, into the description box, help people consume that content, make sure they're backing themselves up and they don't have to keep going backwards and forwards listening to the same piece of content on your video. They can actually read what it is that you've said as well. So get some information from that. So get really descriptive into what you're putting into your description box. The next thing for me is the one that I see so many people making mistakes with. And it's putting your links in there, putting in your email address, your website address, your social media links. So many people make mistakes with this. Now, an email address can't necessarily be clickable. So just make sure you put your email address in there so people can actually get in touch with you, especially if you're a brand or a business. People are lazy. They don't want to have to go searching around trying to find it. If they're going to read the description box in the first place and they want to get in touch with you, make sure your contact details are in there. Your phone number, if you have a business phone number, your business address, if you have one, and most definitely your business email. Now, when it comes to web links, this is the mistake I see people doing. They go to their website, they go to YouTube description and they type in www.perceptionstudios.co.uk, and they expect that to help draw people back into their content. The problem is that YouTube and Google do not see that as a hyperlink. So when you type www. They don't see that as a full website link. So they don't turn it to a hyperlink. So therefore, when people come to your content and they read the description box, they can see it, but they'll have to copy and paste it. We're trying to make life easier for people, remember? So you're going to have to turn it into a hyperlink. How do you do that? You make sure you put the full link in there. HTTP, if you've got a security certificate, make sure you put the S on there, // then www. It's a bit of a pain in the arse, which is why I have a document set up on my notepad with all of my social media links already typed in there. I have a little description about who I am and what it is that I do already in there. I have links to my free book. I have my other links, affiliate links to products that I use and recommend to people. They're all in my description so that when I actually post content on other channels, I can copy and paste those. And when I post content on YouTube, they're already set up as default pieces of content. So when you go onto YouTube and set up your channel, you can set up the channel so that you actually have default information that gets uploaded every single time you put a video up. So when you do that, you put all this kind of stuff in there so you don't need to keep typing it out every single time. So make sure in your description box that you're using the full web address. You have a good description of who it is that you are and what it is that you do. Make sure you've got your contact details in there. Make sure there's a good description of what the video is all about. And then take the bulk of the information that you will use on a regular basis, or your personal information, your contacts, all that kind of stuff. Copy and paste that into the default on YouTube. And then every time you upload a piece of content, it will be there automatically for you. It's really, really simple. And then you don't really have to worry about ever typing those things out ever again, which is awesome if you ask me. So definitely look at that, but make sure you put in the full web address. It's the biggest mistake I see so many people making. Also, when it comes to writing your description about what the video is about, don't forget whatever you've written in there, get clever with your meta tags, connecting it to that content. And I'm not talking about hashtag or meta tag Instagram or meta tag Twitter. I'm talking about, if you're talking about how to grow your YouTube channel, meta tag how to grow your YouTube channel, meta tag YouTube channel growth, meta tag how to set up your YouTube channel. All those kind of things that you maybe have written into your description, put them into your meta tags. You've got 500 characters, I think it is, to play with. So you've got plenty of meta tags you can type in there. Just make sure that they're in your description as well as in your meta tags. Now, this is probably sounding a little bit technical to some people. If it is, feel free to drop me an email. I'm more than happy to always chat on email, or you can book some one-to-one consultation time with me. That's absolutely fine as well. And we can have a chat through it, and I can do some screen share and show you exactly what it is I'm talking about. But for now, hopefully this is just giving you enough generic information to understand what your description should be, rather than just being a couple of words. Here's me talking about how to grow a YouTube channel. That's fine, but it's not enough. YouTube don't see that as enough. There's no links there to help it backlink to other stuff, to back up what it is that you talk about, because it sees activity on all these other sites. So if you're regularly posting on Twitter and on Instagram, and you're putting those hashtags, those links in there, then it will see that and back that up. But also, if you put your website link in there, proper website link rather than just a www, it will see that that piece of content is connected to that website. So even if you don't embed that particular video into your website, YouTube and Google will talk to each other and go, well, this piece of content here with this web address here, this www.perceptionstudios.co.uk, is connected to that website right there, www.perceptionstudios.co.uk. Well, that must mean they're connected. What we'll do then is we'll use all the SEO that is within this piece of content, and from the meta tags and from the description box and from the title, and we will use that to help the rankings of that website, because that website and that are obviously exactly the same, and we'll help them out with that. So it's really important you get your description right on YouTube. So if you're uploading any content, make sure you get it right. If you've got any questions about it, just like I say, drop me a line, or we can do one-to-one consultation. I'll help you out as best as I possibly can to make sure that your descriptions are written correctly. I will now, right now, say I'm not an SEO expert, but I know how to write a description. You've got to get it right. It's so important. Just the little tweaks that you could make a big difference to the amount of people who may be clicking through to your website or clicking on your affiliate links, all that kind of thing. If somebody can't click on a link, they're less likely to do it, because they're not likely to go, okay, copy and paste, put that up there, open a new tab, right, okay, paste, right, okay, what's this person got to say? They're just not likely to do that. We are humans, we are inherently lazy. Make it easy for people to consume your content or get to other content that you want them to consume. Okay, hopefully you've got some value from that. And after this, you're going to start going through all your old videos and writing proper descriptions into your YouTube content. We will see. Anyway, as always, the questions are open for you guys to be asking me anything whatsoever, whatever platform you're on. I'll either get them on my screen right here, or if you're watching on Instagram Live, I'll get them right there. So just drop your questions in, and I will answer as many of them today as I possibly can do. First one that came through overnight on email was from Sridhar, cool name, and he asks, how do you read and predict social media trends to apply them in marketing? Okay, well, you look at what trends are happening, and you can't necessarily predict a trend. You can predict whether a piece of content is probably going to do well, but that's only once the piece of content's already out. You can't predict a trend. People just happen to pick up on things and enjoy them. Now, you can create a trend that will potentially do quite well, and that's a totally different kettle of fish. And that's why you get people like creative agencies in to try and help you with that kind of thing, because they will come up with the ideas that will potentially send you viral. There is no magic pill. There's no formula to sending somebody viral, but people can come up with ideas that would be slightly more creative and different to the type of stuff that you maybe potentially come up with. So you can't predict a social trend, but you can certainly try and create one. And I've seen brands do this in the past. So definitely it's something you can try and create. But like I say, it's worth chatting to the experts who are local to you. He also asks, how are trends going to change post the COVID-19 era? I don't think trends are going to change. I think the only thing that will massively change is people and brands and businesses are going to understand more about the importance of being online, having a presence online, actually trading online as well, and doing it right. There's some big businesses in the UK who I've spoken about in the past who have failed miserably at getting their online brand absolutely right. And they've seen the damage that has caused. They've seen stores closing. They've seen people not wanting to buy products online because of it, because they've just not got that content right. There was one channel had over 1 million people following them on their Instagram account, but maybe 1,000 or 2,000 people liking each piece of content. Now that's a lot of people, don't get me wrong, but when you've got 1 million people following you and you're a big brand like they are, you would really hope that a lot more people would actually be interested in seeing your content and liking what they see. But they don't, because they weren't clever with the content they were creating. It was very bog standard. It was very boring. It wasn't really thinking outside the box. They then had another brand within their business that does think outside the box and is very stylish and very creative. And that content absolutely flew. But you could see the difference between the two different types of content, and they were both on the same channel. Just unbelievable. I'm not going to mention names because I've done content about them in the past. I'm not going to keep going on about them because it gives them free advertising, and they never came to me for any help, so whatever. But yeah, so brands really do have to get it right. So I don't think trends are going to change as such. I think trends are going to remain the same. I think just a lot more brands, a lot more businesses are going to understand the importance of being online and actually creating content, and actually getting agencies to help them create content as well, because not everybody comes up with the best ideas. And if you're a bigger brand, a bigger business, it's well worth spending a few quid and getting somebody who knows what they're talking about to do it for you, or at least to help you along that journey, because they're going to really help you a lot better. They're going to understand the platforms you're trying to appeal to and make sure that you're appealing to the right platforms and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't think after COVID-19's gone away, and it's never really going to go away, but once we're out of all this lockdown situation, we feel a little bit safer to go out there and start trading a bit more. I don't think trends are going to change. I just think a lot more brands and businesses are going to understand the importance of the audience that is online. So many brands and businesses just think it's just for cat pics, whatever channel it is. And it really isn't. Social media is just such a huge potential for every brand and business if what you're doing catches people's attention. So hopefully that answers both your questions, Sridhar. I know the first one is a little bit more of a roundabout the houses, but it's a difficult one. You just can't predict social trends, but you can help create them. But again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to do that. That's what I do. So if you want to know, get in touch. Okay, Helen asks, how do I learn to edit video content? Okay, so part of the how to manage your social media process is it's not how to edit content, but is the importance of being able to edit content yourself, because you're trying to do content creation for free. If you can't and you don't have the inclination to learn, then hire somebody to do it. Hire an agency like us or someone local to you or a local student to do it for you. Get somebody who can edit content. However, if you do want to learn, there's a great website. It's GOOGLE. I hope nobody wrote that down. It's Google. Just type in how to edit video on, and then whatever piece of software that it is that you're going to use. There are so many free ones out there, and whatever software it is you're going to use, just learn how to use it. If you've got an iPhone and one of the latest ones, you'll get iMovie for free on there. You've got things like InShot, which is also on there. You can download Shotcut, which is a completely free piece of software available on the Mac and also on a PC. Or you could be spending money and you've got Final Cut Pro, which is obviously available on the Mac. And then you've got Adobe Premiere, which is available on the PC and on the Mac. So there's loads of different softwares out there, but you can learn how to do it just by putting the effort in. Nobody is going to hand you these things on a silver platter. Nobody's going to go, right, there you go. You now have the information. You now know how to learn how to edit videos. Nobody's going to do that. You've got to go out and do the hard work yourself, Helen. So fingers crossed, you're going to go out and learn how to do this stuff yourself. You might find still further down the line when you've learned how to do it yourself, you're just not very quick at it. You're just not very good at it. That doesn't mean you can't do it, but it just might mean that maybe your time is better spent doing something else. So in that case, that's when you need to start looking at a local, like I say, a local student or a local agency, whatever, to help you with the editing of your content. But until then, go away and learn. It's not hard. It's not hard to find that information. You can find information on anything on Google. Want to know how to do Facebook ads? Type it into Google. Want to know how to set up a funnel? Type it into Google. You do not need to go on all these stupid courses that people are selling for £1,500, £2,000. You can learn how to do it. If you've got the time, learn how to do it. If you don't have the time, pay for a professional to do it for you because you're too busy and you're making money anyway. You've got to remember, if they're going to charge you £2,000, but you're going to make an extra 6 out of it, is it worth that knockoff of £2,000 and making an extra 4? Of course it is. And they're saving you the time so you can deliver that work rather than having to spend 3 times as long doing it as they would do and then have to deliver that work. So you've got to weigh up those pros and cons. And is it worth spending the money? Normally, yes, it is. Anyway, I've gone off on a real tangent there, Helen. But anyway, hopefully that answers your question. As it is a quiet one today, and I know a lot of people are kind of like back into work and all that kind of work mode and all that kind of stuff. If you do have any questions and maybe you're watching on the replay right now, please drop them into the comments. I'm more than happy to answer your questions either straight there in the comments or on tomorrow's live video. If you are watching on the replay, my email address right now is scrolling across the bottom. Drop me an email on that email address and we can have a chat and try and help you with anything that you need to know. Or if you'd just like to maybe chat to me about what it is that we do as a business, feel free to email me there as well. And if you're listening on the podcast, my email address is in the description box underneath this podcast. So open it up, go and have a look, find my email address and drop me a line and we can chat that way instead. Anyway, thank you so much, as always, for tuning in to this live broadcast. As always, it does amaze me that you guys even bother to tune in on a daily basis. And I'm very appreciative of all the questions that come in each and every single day. So just thank you so much. We are, at some point or another, going to start drawing down this to a close and not doing it every single day. But at the moment, and hopefully you're getting some value from it, at the moment we're still in lockdown. So we're just going to keep pushing forward, keep getting you on that content creation journey. Okay, until tomorrow, thanks ever so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed on whatever channel it is that you're watching. And make sure you move your thumb or your mouse ever so slightly to one side and click share so that your audience can also get some value from this content as well. Thanks ever so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Take it easy and stay safe. Bye.